I'm sitting in ecology class like I have the past Tuesday mornings in the back row in the 8th seat. There's a little blue wad of gum under this desk, but I've grown attached to this seat, so I choose to ignore it. I zone out while the professor echoes text on the screen about convergent evolution and adaptive radiation. But through the slivers of his monotonous voice, a single thing he says sticks in my brain. The effect of age on teeth is one of the main causes for mortality in mammals. He had a large image of a mountain lion skull plastered on the projector screen. I stared at the massive canines illuminated against a dark background. A mountain lion tucks himself into his den for the night, a short, dusky coat and agile paws, territorial and solitary, a potential threat to livestock, pets, and sometimes humans, hunted for sport and hunted for survival. But right now, he's curled up against the soil and rock, tucking his front paws into his chest and shutting his eyes. His maw is shut and his body is still. Earlier this evening, before sleep took over, he was prowling across the forest floor in search of his next feed, tuned into the pattering of gentle paws between the wild brush. A group of 3 adult coyotes scavenge about in a close-knit pack. Between 3 adults, 1 pup waddles on short legs. The mountain lion perches itself behind a fallen trunk, plotting an attack strategy. But his body is not what it used to be. After 12 years of lunging, creeping, striking, and sinking teeth, a small coyote falls behind the pack in their hunt for small brown rabbits. A quick leap and the lion pins it to the floor. He sinks his teeth into the pup. At least he makes a strong attempt at doing so. One of his large canines had decayed and rotted out of his gums a couple years prior to this moment. All he has is his force, but is that enough? His teeth break skin barely, but not enough to guarantee his next feeding. The pack is quick to retaliate, pouncing for his limbs before he can get another bite in. He looks down at his prey, staring back at him, beady eyes, barely harmed, begging for release. It's no use. Taking blows to his neck and legs, he flees the forest floor. Following the setting sun over the horizon, he pursues over each fallen stump and boulder. A subtle taste of blood in his mouth. He savors it. It's the last thing he'll taste tonight. He retreats back into his den. The effects of age on teeth are one of the main causes of mortality in mammals. Besides being maimed at the hands of human touch or other creatures, oral health is sometimes the last failing attribute. Their teeth are worn round or blunt in older age, teeth fall out, gums rot, and the roots of molars decay. They could survive persecution, trophy hunting, poaching, kitten orphaning, poisoning, habitat loss, and fragmentation. They could outrun every threatening human and predator. But when he nestles into the coziest nook of his den, he is unable to escape the one attribute igniting his quick cutoff, an unwilling self-destruction that comes from his own body's failure. There's a terrifying helplessness that is attached to our physicality, and the ephemerality that comes with it. No, I'm not scared of getting older and wiser, but I'm scared of my body slowly giving up on itself, maybe not even willingly. My teeth could get worn down in time, maybe even rot and fall out, and that's only focusing on teeth. I hate the floor of the dentist's office. The pokey layers of rock and quarters wedged beneath a thin layer of resin, fake trees in each corner of the waiting room, the annoyingly yellow ceiling light. I was 9 and my feet did not touch the floor when I sat down. Lying on the patient's chair like an animal at the vet, I compete in a staring contest with the operator light glaring down at me. The assistant shoves pieces of plastic and wires into my mouth and tells me to bite down. The ridges on these devices hurt like hell against the roof of my mouth, but I focus on preserving my facial expression so she doesn't know that I'm in pain. "You can open your mouth now," she instructs me, and I do so. She removes the weighted bib from my chest, telling me that the dentist will be back shortly to go over my x-rays. I wipe my mouth, and I look over at my mom. She nods at me reassuringly. I can distinctly remember this moment where he was pointing at this weird burrowed row of teeth that was like hidden underneath my gums and saying like, "Oh, these are your adult teeth. When the teeth you have now fall out, they're going to take their spots." And
and telling me, like, I lost my first tooth. Most kids lost that one a couple years ago, among other teeth. But yours are coming in slower than other kids, and that won't cause any issues. They're just taking their time up there. And being a little kid and seeing this terrifying image of all these teeth hiding underneath my skin, and then, walking outside of there with a goodie bag and toothbrush, mini toothpaste, and some My Little Pony stickers and putting them on my shirt afterwards. I have a few different stories of my teeth, my baby teeth kind of giving up because they were waiting way too long for my adult teeth to come in. I think there were twice where I was staying after school in my mom's classroom, and I took a Starburst from the classroom candy jar, and I was just chewing in my mouth and, squishing the taffy like in my molars. And then I feel this really random hard clump in the middle. So I take it out and I look at it, and there's just a giant white fragment in the Starburst. And so I swish my tongue around my mouth, and I feel a huge chip in my molar, just like a piece taken out. That happened twice. And there was another time I was at the beach, and I had a Rice Krispie treat. My dad brought them along as a snack, and I'm chewing on a Rice Krispie treat, and again, I think I hear a crack or something, and I swish my tongue around my mouth, feeling for any weird divots, and I feel something strange, but I don't know what it is. It's not a hole this time, and so I go to the mirror in the bathroom, and I just stick my face right up, and I'm what's going on? And my tooth had split into four quarters, completely like it was a graph, and I think that I was able to take two pieces out, and then I had two diagonal pieces that were still sitting there for 2 weeks until they just fell out. I made a promise to myself when I lost my last baby tooth that I would never get another cavity, and it was easy not to care before. Even if my teeth rotted or fell apart, they would always fall out and I would be able to start again, but not this time. Even if the dentist drilled holes in my teeth and filled them back in with amalgam or porcelain, I would never be the same again. A piece of my humanity transplanted with something that maybe should have never been attached to my body in this way. I brush my teeth 3 times a day, and I pick up the plaque. I'm sitting on the patient's chair like an animal at the vet, and I stare at the persistent operator light. I drove here alone today. The dentist sits beside my chair and uses his rubber gloves to keep my jaw open. Holding a dental scaler, he pokes the divots in my molars. The metal clashes with my teeth. I stare at the ceiling tiles. He gets to the last molar. The scaler sticks inside my tooth. He stops. There's a minor cavity starting in this one. I stare directly into the operator light. He keeps talking, and I keep staring into the operator light. You can try as desperately as you want to have control over things in your life, but sometimes a decision will be made for you. I brushed my teeth 3 times a day and picked out all the plaque, so why did I get a cavity after making all of the right choices? How much autonomy do we really have in terms of what our bodies can do for us, what we can do for them? Your body can fall apart at any second. I guess I've been getting too caught up in things I can't control. Your body can fall apart at any second. I guess I've been getting too caught up in the things I can't control. I should really stop avoiding my dentist calls. This makes my teeth look really yellow. I wonder why baby teeth are more naturally white. Maybe I just drink too much coffee.